What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. I'm just sitting here at my catfish farm, and I got to thinking about something that I think I should share with you guys about some of the benefits of doing international business and farming outside of America, right? As you can see, Donald Trump has affected many businesses in America, many farms, many livestock stock farmers. And one benefit of doing business in Nigeria is that my customers are Nigerian, and my customers are also Chinese, right? And I can do business with the Chinese without being hindered by the European power structure and sanctions and tariffs and things like that. Like, from my position in Nigeria, I am able to do business the way Nigerians do business. See, Nigerians do business with other people across this planet. And a lot of people in America think that America is the end all be all to business and business cooperation throughout the world. But listen, if you're in Nigeria, you can just follow the rules and regulations of Nigeria and all the trade agreements Nigeria has with all the countries. So that means my catfish here, right? My catfish here can be sold to anybody, right? I don't have to deal with the problems that come along with being an American in America farming. I don't have to deal with the agricultural corruption there, right? Now, is there agricultural corruption here? I would say not really, not compared to America. Like, maybe, I would say the only thing is like imports, like they do import a lot of stuff, right? But that doesn't really affect anybody who's willing to actually do, grow crops that is wanted. And because Nigeria is growing, the demand is growing. So food is something that will always be in demand, right? And your ability to get that food to people is the key. And see, right here, I have an entire village I can sell my food to, right? Whether if I sell catfish alive, they'll come to me. I don't have to worry about transportation. Like, I don't need a big truck, a big freezer to transport my fish, miles and miles away. So that's not a cost to have to deal with. People will literally drive to me and buy my food. I already have customers coming. I have a customer that came earlier today to purchase some catfish, right? I do a lot of business with Igbos. I'm in Yoruba land, but a lot of Igbos start businesses in Igbo and Yoruba land, and they have grocery stores and things like that. And they want to stock their grocery stores with catfish, right? Also, I'm about to purchase some smokers so I can smoke my catfish in order to preserve them so that I can continue to grow my stock and don't have a stock just piling up. So I can preserve my catfish, put them in nylon, Ziploc, airtight, vacuum sealed bags, put my label on it. And from when I do that, I can just stack that up and I can sell that on the international market. And there are a lot of things that you can grow here that are illegal to sell in America that other countries want. There are crops that you don't pay attention to in America that the rest of the world buys. And listen, America's only 5% of the world's population. That's it, right? So you can't expect America to be able to consume all the world's goods. There's a lot of world out there, and there's a lot of people who want things, right? So me selling my catfish, right? I'm not gonna be affected by what America does or white folks do. So with black empowerment is being able to run your black business, whether you are failing or succeeding. At least all of that will be on your own merit, right? Not because somebody decided to pass some legislation to benefit themselves somehow, and then it affects you. Same way the cattle industries is happening in America, all right? So I fully plan on serving first and foremost the local market. Because if I serve the local market, that insulates me from even things that happen within Nigeria. Because no matter what happens with the local market, these people in this village want to eat catfish. They want to eat, they want food, right? Therefore, I sell it to these people. Because listen, people in the village got money, right? Somehow they manage to have money, somehow, right? And they have to eat, therefore they're going to eat, right? And I'm conveniently located to where they can come here instead of have to drive 30 minutes into town. Therefore, I'm winning, right? And that goes for all my other crops. See, let me show you. This is my cassava farm. I have cassava here. It's all planted. The only cassava right now is growing is the one next to my fertilizer, right? But that's not really for sale. I'm probably going to just eat that myself. And I'll just wait till when the season comes in to do that. I got my most loyal guy here. Look at him. This guy's a hard worker. He's a hard worker, very hard worker, right? He runs everything, man. He wakes up and he runs everything. Comes here, he does an excellent job. He's like an expert, right? And so I have good people behind me. And one good thing about this place is that when you find good people, you treat them well, right? You don't treat them like employees. A lot in America, you have employees, you're just like a number. Nobody cares about you. But here is different, man. You care about the people that work for you, right? You care, like you become family. It's a different setup, right? It's not just numbers and just, plug in here, you do that. There's no slavery type of situation. It's like, you take care of me, you do a good job for me, I do a good job for you. Like, he works for me. He wakes up every day. He changes the water. He feeds the fish, right? He feeds all the other animals. He cleans the pens. He does all those things. In exchange, guess what he gets? Paid. He also doesn't have to pay for any of his food. He also doesn't have to pay for university. He's about to go to college, right? Anything he wants to do, I'm paying for it. He's going to get his 4-year degree, and if he wants to get his master's, he's going to get that. As long as he works for me, I work for him. And if you create a situation where both people need each other, you tend to be more loyal, Like, for instance, most of you guys at your jobs, you'll quit at a dime if you get a better opportunity somewhere else. Because most people don't like their bosses, right? Because their bosses are assholes because they're always thinking about the bottom line, right? But everybody who works for me likes me. Why? Because I take care of them. I take care of the kids. I make sure to eat. The money that they get paid from me doesn't go towards their food. The food that I grow, guess what? They eat that too, right? So we grow enough for us to eat here, right? And we grow enough to sell. And it's not all about trying to make all the money in the world. It just shouldn't be about that. We got to kind of move away from this ridiculous, bottomless hustle mentality to always chasing the bag. Like, what's the point of you chasing the bag? What is the goal? Is the end goal to have time to be able to enjoy life? Because you don't need all the money in the world to do that. You just need to calculate how much you need to be able to have all the time you want. Because that's what you're buying. You want enough money to buy time and opportunity to do things with that time. Right? If you look at all these greedy billionaires and millionaires, for some reason they have all the money in the world, but they still want to take the rest from us because they're savage barbarians, right? And the capitalism is like a vampire. It is always hungry. Nothing's ever enough. You're never satisfied, right? And that's the problem we have in America. We have this mentality where no one's ever satisfied with the money they get. So they keep doing more and more extreme things. They become more and more savage. They become more and more tyrannical in order to get more and more dollars, right? To see more and more zeros in their bank account that they can't do nothing with, right? The life I've lived so far, and I'm not rich, right? But I'm rich in my experiences, right? I know how to use the money that I do earn to get the most time possible. That's why I'm a 42-year-old retired African American. How the hell did I do that? People don't retire. Like, I'm part of like the very few who retired because I did and calculated my life and made all the right decisions to put myself in this position. And now that I'm doing that, I'm putting other people in positions so they can excel in their lives, right? The easiest way possible. I'm paying it forward, right? So I have 3 men in college right now. I graduated 1 woman already. She has to do her 1-year obligatory government service after university. It's like a national service thing. And after that, I'll be paying for her master's. Right, she'll be going to school for master's on my dime, right? I have 3 men right now. 2 of them just entered university. One, this guy who's working for me, about to enter university, and he'll go for his whatever he wants to do. But my requirement is, if you're in school, you work for me, I expect good grades. If I'm paying for it, it requires you to have good grades. And I have no doubt that this gentleman here is going to have good grades. He's a genius, right? And I know that if you were to take me out the picture, that his genius it's possible his genius wouldn't be recognized, or he wouldn't be able to use his genius to improve himself. Therefore, my job as I come here is to make sure anybody that's around me in Nigeria that works for me, that they benefit like if they were hitting a lottery. You understand? I'm not half-assing them. I'm not keeping them on the hook. You understand? Because I know once they end up going off, if my employees want to start their own catfish farm one day, I would help finance them to do it. I'm not selfish. There's plenty of space. There's really no competition out here because there's so much demand. There could be 1,000 other catfish farms around here, and I'll still make the same amount of money because there's so many people and it's ever growing. So if you come to Africa, it gives you the ability to be creative and start a business without being a tyrant. You know, to think outside the box, to think differently from the way you're used to business being ran within your countries, because there's many different ways to do things. And I like the way they kind of operate here in Nigeria as a community. Everybody takes care of each other. It's infectious, right? Because this whole village takes care of everybody. Like when they say it takes a village, like there's some serious truth behind that. Like children could just be like, everybody's house is a place where you can eat, right? Everybody looks out for everybody. Now, is there bad people? Yeah, of course. I haven't ran into too many out here, but I know they're here, right? And just like anything else, you have to be careful. But overall, the cooperation in this village has been the most cooperation I've ever experienced. Like the village of the people who built this catfish farm. I have not reached out of this village to do anything. Everything I need to get done, from my plumbers, from my electricians, from my solar power people, everything is from this village, right? And then I give everything back to the village, and the village give everything back to me, right? And that's how you build. That's how you circulate your money within a community. That's how the Jewish people do it. They create community and they circulate their money within the communities. The same dollar rotates several times before it leaves the community. And that's something we need to do. Let's stop saying, oh, the Jews do this or this and that. The Jews have figured out how to remain communal and benefit each other collectively. And all we have to do is duplicate that, right? So just like, you have Somalis, you have Nigerians and Ghanaians that have come to America. They're usually, outside of Somalis, the Nigerians and the Ghanaians, they move to the black community, right? Well, we fellowship with them. We go to their stores. We patronize their businesses. And in turn, they also patronize our African-American businesses. And as a community where I'm from, that's how it works, right? But here is just on another level, right? And if you're not rich, but yet you're like middle class or you got a little something, right? You can come here and do big things that you cannot do in the U.S. due to the regulations and the rules and how expensive things are. So, but I'd say if you're making about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, you can come here and operate as if you're somebody in America who's like a single millionaire. You can operate like that, right? You just have to be smart because things can get expensive, right? Material is material, and a lot of these materials are priced on an international basis, so you have to take that in consideration. But the labor here is much cheaper, right? And so I just want to say, man, anybody can really do this. To be honest, I promise you, I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. I'm average at best. You understand? I'm legitimate. I'm average at best. There are people much smarter than me, much more money than me, much more capable than me that are here in Nigeria doing fantastic things. It's just that you got to remember, most people are not on YouTube. Most people are not online. They're not plugged into any of this stuff. They're just living their lives, doing their thing, right? There's a lot of African Americans in Nigeria navigating, the economics, navigating and troubleshooting the problems, because every country has their problems. Nigeria has their problems just like any other country has their problems. But these problems here in Nigeria, I'd rather deal with because I can still move about and improve my life and do pretty much anything that I want as long as I'm not hurting anybody in Nigeria. Unlike America, I wish I could do this in America. I don't have the money to do this in America. I can't navigate the American system and be as effective in America as I can be over here, right? And the great thing here, there's no white people regulating anything here. Nigeria is black, super black. All of its problems are black. All of its successes are black. Everything is black, good, bad, ugly, right? And I love it. So, like I said, everything is merit-based here for sure, guaranteed, right? But I just want to let y'all know y'all can do it. I promise you. I'm average at best. I'm average. Back in America, I'm still paycheck to paycheck. If I am still paycheck to paycheck. I'm a paycheck to paycheck guy. Even though I'm retired, I'm still paycheck to paycheck. Every month I'm worried about some goddamn bill I got to pay over there. Over here, I don't worry about nothing but my business operation. But back home, I got mortgages back home, okay? Utility bills, I got goddamn heat, electric. I got all that. Got worried about gas. I'm always broke. Like, I'm just like y'all. But the difference is I don't know if I can say it's self-taught, probably self-taught, because nobody taught me finances in school. I just learned how to use money, how to use the little bit of money I have to maximize, and leverage myself. And I encourage a lot of you guys to try to leverage yourselves in Africa somehow, right? Get a piece of land. It's your birthright. Come over here and buy a piece of land and just sit on it and just figure out what you want to do with it. That's what you should do, right? African Americans, come over here, get yourself a piece of land, right? That's one. And guess what? The great thing about this, in Nigeria specifically, because I know there's issues in like Ghana and some other countries. In Nigeria, when you buy land, you own it. It's yours. This is my land for life. I can, when I die, my children get this land. There's no freehold. There's none of that. Nigeria is very accessible when it comes to buying land. Okay, it's yours. What's underneath it is yours. If I found oil under this land, it'd be mine. No government's gonna come and say and snatch it from me. No, they'll be like, hey, we'll help you develop it for this amount, of course, because just because you have oil under the ground don't mean you have the money to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? But there's just so much. It's like a sandbox. It's a sandbox. You can play Farmville here for in real life. Like that's what I'm doing. Like you can either play it on your phone. A lot of you guys, y'all put a lot of years into those games on your phones, and you develop your little farm, and then you got this big giant farm, and you're very proud of yourself. You get satiated, right? But you can legitimately do that in real life with the same amount of time you put into those video games to build up your characters and your farm and all that stuff, and do that in real life. Go through the same pain, you go through the same obstacles in the game as you in real life, but it's more satisfying. You know what I'm saying? So just take that in consideration, But first things first, because a lot of people hit me up, they want to do this. I say the first thing you should do, vacation. Before you choose to move to Africa, you go on vacation and find the country that fits you, right? Find the place you feel most comfortable with. Start building friendships and relationships. Everything's built from friendships and relationships. Don't come over here thinking you can't be with the people and think that you're going to be able to do anything. It's all about relationships at the end of the day. Okay. So build relationships. And from those relationships, hopefully they're healthy relationships, you can build a business that will benefit you and the community. Because if you're not benefiting the community and you're not a net asset to the community, you're a colonizer. And we don't want to be colonizers. We want to be net plus assets to any part of Africa that we move in, including the Caribbean. If you decide you don't want to go that far, you want to go to the Caribbean, you can do the same thing in the Caribbean. It may be a little bit more expensive in the Caribbean because it is on the Western Hemisphere, but you can also do the same thing in the Caribbean with your brothers and sisters down there. If you go there, build something, be a net positive to the community, and they won't look at you like a predator. They will facilitate you. They will make sure that you have everything you need to be successful, because if you're successful, they're successful. If they're successful, we're all successful. It's a win-win situation. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say for now, guys. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. and follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.